It's called the Latino Startup Alliance, a group of Latinos and Latinas who are putting their fingerprints on the startup industry. With me here on Comunidad del Valle are Ed Martinez and Del Medina, both of this organization, doing some fine work. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Who can tell me about the alliance itself first, so that we can let the viewers know what it is and what it does and what the goal is? Go ahead.
Thank you for having us. So Latino Startup Alliance has been around since November of 2011. And we're a group of Latino entrepreneurs and people who are generally interested in the world of startups. And so our goal is to help Latinos build their dreams in the form of a startup.
Give us some examples, because it's fascinating.
Sure. So one of the things that we've done is we've had monthly meetups where we bring in an industry expert. We've had Steve Blank, Janice Frazier, a lot of the names in the world in the Silicon Valley world of startups come in and share their experiences with our members. And so we have a lot of really good discussion afterwards, where we give our members an opportunity to see what it's like to be involved in startups.
And Dale, you're also with Latinas in Tech. How many Latinas in Tech are there? Are there enough or not enough?
You know what? As far as I'm concerned, there's never enough.
Sure.
But it's been amazing, because the thing is that a lot of the times we don't stand out, and a lot of people don't like to wave their flag and say, this is who I am. But I think when you build a group like this, it's really dynamic, and it's really interesting, the conversations that we would have that are both about our love for technology and also our cultural needs and cultural wants. And so it's a very fine line sometimes to how the conversation goes. We're actually having our first breakfast tomorrow at the San Francisco Hub, and if you go to meetup, our meetup for Latino Startup Alliance, you can RSVP for that. And I would love to see young women, older women. It doesn't matter if you have a love for tech. You can't just be, we just can't be passive consumers. We actually have to be the makers of our own technology.
Maybe I'll ask you the same question I asked Kevin in a previous segment about why it matters that we say, oh, there are Latinos in tech or Latinas in tech. Why does that matter?
No, and I'm glad that you addressed that question with Kevin before we came on, because I think it's spot on. Our demographics have changed in the state of California and in the world in general. And if we don't address the fact that we're here and we're making actual products for ourselves and our communities and our needs, then we're just passive consumers, and it just leaves us behind. Our ability to build wealth, to keep wealth, and to continue to grow as a part of our American citizenship, I think is really dependent upon us having better skill sets, whether you are a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer. I think all of those things are key: education, 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 and we're one component of that.
What was a previous employment, would you say, of some of these folks who said, you know what, I want to join the startup industry? What were they doing before that they're not doing now, that they're doing something different at this point?
Sure. So a lot of them come from corporate backgrounds, going to a 9-to-5 job, and so a lot of them come from that space. And one thing I want to point out is that a lot of our members are not necessarily technical. Some of them are in the world of marketing and user experience, the business side of things. So we really do have a wide range of members.
But do you think the startup industry has taken notice of your organization?
I think it's a very subtle balance. I mean, there's obviously a need. When you look at every index that's out there in terms of startups in general, we are sometimes non-existent to a very small percentage. But I think when the Pew Hispanic, when Nielsen comes out and starts saying, hey, Latinos, Hispanics are the #1 consumer product for phones, for new technology, I think things are going to start changing. And then organizations like ours are also pushing it forward by saying, hey, we're here. We're available. If you're going to build something, you should keep us not only in mind as the consumer, but also as the maker. And we have our own companies. You should invest in us. You should invest in what we have. We are the future of this country in many ways.
And I would imagine, I mean, this is kind of like the perfect time, because the latest ratings show that Univision across the country is #1 watch network, above NBC, above ABC, CBS. I mean, the market is there, and I guess now is a time for these startups to take advantage of it.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And I think you can also see if you meet some of our members, you also see that we have a lot of ties to a lot of the incubators and accelerators in the Bay Area. So we're making our presence. We're trying to help Latino startups in any which way we can, and part of that is to help them realize and find other ways to connect in the Bay Area.
There's risk involved. I mean,
yes.
I would imagine that the fear. I saw a T-shirt at the Smithsonian that says "Failure is not an option,"
yes.
and it should be an option. But it's got to be in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
Oh my, what if this does not?
No,
How do you overcome that?
No, you just have to. I mean, I fail every day. And I say that not because I'm trying to humble myself, but because I make mistakes all the time. But it's not the mistakes that you make, it's not the failures, it's how you recover from it. And I think that we also come from risk-averse cultures. I mean, when my family immigrated here, they were just happy to have a job and a roof and to be able to go. Ed and I were talking about this. Like, my mother sometimes, she's proud of me, but she's wondering, why don't I just get a job? You know, and there is something to a certain amount of stability. We don't tend to have the incomes that most people do. When we do earn money, we don't earn on the par of some of our contemporaries, and so we don't really necessarily have those wealth bases that we come from. So it is a big risk. It is a huge risk, but there's also a big reward if you stick with it. And you also have to be prepared psychologically and culturally in some ways for that. And I think that's what's so great about our group, is that we're able to have those conversations. Not only how do you build something, but how do you have those conversations with your partner, with your husband, with your wife, with your family? How do you explain to your kid, hey, I'm not going to be here tonight because I have to go do X, Y, Z? Right. It's not a 9 to 5. It is all time. Sundays we send each other emails, and sometimes I'm like, I guess you're working too, because you're just constantly working.
Well, you all are trailblazing. We appreciate the work that you're doing. There's a web address. I'll give you the final thought here, Ed, if you anything you'd like to add.
Sure. So one of the things that we're doing is we're having our first Innovator Summit this December, and so what you can do is go online, go to our website, LatinoStartupAlliance.org, or our meetup site, and go ahead and pre-register there. What we'll have in December is a collection of speakers, networking events over the course of 2 days to help introduce people to the world of startups, Latinos to the world of startups, and gain from our experiences, and of course all the other members in our group.
Very good. Good luck to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
All right. And up next, you're on Comunidad del Valle, el Teatro Campesino. Stay with us.